'cause showtime is here, so on with the show. Let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know. Now it's showtime.
He had a dream. Is it now a nightmare? We're going to talk about that. And Donald Trump's presidency is unraveling as the world finally says no to him. We'll talk about that today as well. And so much more on this Monday, January 19th.
Now it's showtime.
It is the Karel Show. I am Karel. Welcome on this Monday, January 19th, federal holiday, no matter what Donald Trump tried to do about it. Celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who had a dream. That dream right now seems pretty much like a nightmare for many Americans. He would not approve of what is going on. He would be in, wherever, Minnesota, wherever these unrest and ICE are, Dr. King would be. I know he would be. And on this day that we celebrate one of the greatest civil rights advocates to ever live, we must remember there is a battle for our civil rights going on right now on the streets of America with an out-of-control president who has militarized an agency, a needed agency, an agency that we need. We need immigration and custom enforcement. We just don't need them to be a paramilitary group going after American citizens or immigrants who have done nothing wrong. So I know that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today would be speaking out against what this administration is doing on the streets of America. He would liken it to Selma and many other places. And he would also speak out against what is going on with the trans and gay community and the marginalization of so many Americans, because he believed that every American, white, black, brown, gay, straight, whatever, that everyone had certain inalienable rights as promised by our documents, and he believed that we should fight for those rights in a peaceful way. And I hope that the LA Times opinion piece this morning, how it's the biggest national emergency is to prevent a national emergency, I hope that people are taking heed. Trump wants us to be in disarray. And he wants chaos so he can bring in the military because he thinks he can stop an election. He can't. States control that, and elections can happen during a time of war. They have in the past. And a time of unrest, and a time of martial law. There's no provision in the Constitution to suspend elections for any reason. He doesn't know that. He doesn't care. He doesn't read the Constitution. His cabinet doesn't care because they're idiots. When Marco Rubio looks like the biggest diplomat and smartest person in the room, you know you're in trouble. I mean, honey, that's Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio, a man who works for a man who insulted him and his wife. That's how dumb Marco Rubio is. And yet he appears to be the smartest person in the room many times. So that's kind of scary. Good morning to Granny and Sandy and others who are in the chat room. My Karelers, like carolers, but Karelers. I'm so glad you are here with me today. In just a minute, I want to read something to you that I wrote last night because I realized I haven't written an editorial in months, maybe years. And I used to write them almost daily. And A, it keeps my mind sharp to do it, so it's good for me. But B, to go silent, it just seems weird to me. And so I just sat down and started writing last night, and I'll tell you what I did in a minute. Today is a holiday. I want you all to remember Dr. King today and celebrate Dr. King, not a would-be king. Not a Trump. Celebrate the king, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And while he was an imperfect man, no man is perfect, no woman is perfect, no one's perfect except a dog, or a cat, or a bird, or an elephant, or a lion, or a tiger. But no human is perfect. Animals, yep, but no human is perfect. So King was an imperfect man who still made a difference in this world. And I just want all of you to remember him today, to celebrate his spirit, to remember his message of peaceful, nonviolent resistance. It's all Indira Gandhi, or Mahatma Gandhi. I believe today is his birthday, or there's something about Gandhi on today in history. Whether it's his birthday or whether it's the day he came to power, whatever it is. But remember, Gandhi was against violence as well. So the people that we remember more than the dictators, more than those who were for violent insurrection, are the ones who preached peace. And let's remember
if you're
them.
not visiting reallykarel.com daily, you're missing out. Get the podcast, videos, and the blog, including recipes at reallykarel.com. That's really KAREL.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know.
You know, I think I want to start by reading you. So many of you feel you're not yourself because of what's going on in the country. You're just not yourself. And now with him threatening Greenland and the UK finally saying, fuck you. If you even try this, not only will we do a tariff trade bomb, but the EU owns more of our debt now than China. And as Deutsche Bank said this morning, our debt is America's Achilles heel. If banks and countries stop buying our debt and call in the notes, our economy tanks. Gold and silver are skyrocketing today, and the stock market is plummeting. And Trump is doing that. He is going to destroy our economy and make it so none of us can afford rent or food. He is going to destroy the dollar. And these countries are going to start making deals that they're not going to unmake in the future. If they get all cozy with China and start dealing with China like they did the US, there'll be no need to go back to us. He is making us obsolete on the world stage. They are not afraid of him anymore. And it's dangerous. So a lot of you have noticed on the show that I have said things like, it feels futile. It's all been said before, all this other stuff. And you're not feeling yourself. And I wasn't last night because I thought to myself, when's the last time you wrote something? And I've been making a lot of mistakes with my typing, and I've been worried about my memory and all this other stuff. And I thought, well, writing is good for all of that. So how about you write something? And I thought, what are you going to write? And I was like, I don't know, just start writing. And I said, well, seems like it's all been said before. I said, so write that. Now, I don't normally read to you, but I want to share this with you because I think it says something important, and I think you'll get something out of it. So this is called, It's All Been Said and Done Before. Sometimes I wonder, is there just not much more to say? At least that's how I feel as a writer these days, particularly one that has, for 5 decades, written about current events, presidents, societal issues, superstars, major milestones, most of the time for publications and later for websites. But of late, it seems I haven't had the urge, the desire, the inspiration. Partly because I've been reading so many of my previous columns that talked of the injustices of Reagan, the horrors of the Bushes, Daddy and Shrub, and Trump Point 1 and 2.0. I've also been archiving all of my old podcast and radio shows, dating back to KFI AM 640 Los Angeles, both with Andrew Howard, and then on my own, and then KGO AM 810 San Francisco. Both stations now basically gone. KGO has changed its call letters and is no longer talk, and KFI might as well be gone as it's MAGA light, no diversity, angry, and sad. And what have I been learning from all this nostalgic input? That it's all been said before, that none of this is a surprise. The chaos, the stratification, the division, the authoritarianism. The blueprint for all of it is old and used by many a nation, many a country, many an empire, most of them now gone too. And for some reason, enough people always fall for it to allow it to happen. And by all the markers, it's happening globally again. It's now 2026, and after 1 year of Trump, the USA is in the saddest state it has ever been. And so many saw it coming, warned the USA, warned the world. But not enough people listened. And now the last year has radically reshaped America, its policies, laws, friends, and allies. And for many, this was the year where they finally got the answers to questions. Some of the questions that people ask looking back on major historical atrocities. Things like World War II, Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, hell, Julius Caesar, or insert dictator name here. How did the people let this happen? Why didn't they stop? Insert dictator's name here. And every society before us, as far back as there's records, established a blueprint for how someone, some entity, some profiteer or entitled family by blood took over, because despots aren't new, nor are those that support them, and how they came to do so. Those answers are easy to see as I watch corrupt politicians in the USA literally follow those blueprints. Those forged almost 100 years ago in Germany, and 100 years before that somewhere else, and 100 years before that in another place, and so on. As I watch killing on the streets of my country at the hands of government agents, and people argue over whether or not it was deserved, when the videos are painfully clear. As I sit in front of the BBC and see the world readying for a trade war with the USA because the child-in-chief, for some reason only he knows, wants to take over the sovereign territory that is not interested in being taken over. As government agents are literally asking for people's papers on the street, all I can hear is the voices of veterans that died in the recent atrocity, World War II, and others before them screaming, "Wake up! It's happening! We died to prevent this! Do something!" And then just look at Congress, the body that could end this tomorrow. It has become completely useless thanks to them letting themselves be taken over by those that are interested in governing and not ruling. There's a difference there. Congress, which allowed the Supreme Court to become an extension of the executive because they didn't have the spine to conform, they didn't have the spine to not confirm those that don't belong there, or impeach those whose wives provided buses for an insurrection. Congress, which has become the most useless and destructive body in the land through its inability to do its job or losing the entire plot on what their job truly entails. Housing prices are going down. Interest rates on housing is still high. Groceries are unaffordable. Rents are out of control. Houses so expensive and cars so overpriced that they want to allow you to finance them for 50 years and 10 years respectively, paying up to 4 times the original purchase amount. Great for banks, bad for people. Roads are falling apart. Jobs are getting scarce. Health costs have skyrocketed. Social Security is dangling by a very varicose vein. Wars are raging. And what is the president focused on? And his followers? Not the Epstein files, now long overdue, where his name is prominently featured. Not the fact that Gaza is still suffering. And as for this board of peace that was promised in this settlement, Trump is charging nations that want a seat at the table to decide Gaza's future $1 billion per nation, inviting 60 nations, with only Hungary responding so far. Where will this $60 billion go for people to sit on the board of peace? Reconstruction efforts? This sounds like another grift to me. No, he's focused on Venezuela, taking their oil, putting profits from it in offshore accounts, according to multiple news outlets. He's busy destroying the world's economy, alienating our allies, and potentially crashing our economy by demanding to take over Greenland, of all places, because he didn't really win a prize. He's focused on the fact that he didn't win the Nobel, not who should run the country he broke over in Venezuela. He's not thinking of our plight financially, our struggles, our troubles, our lives. He's not interested in MAGA or their lives either, no matter what they tell themselves. His approval rating among MAGA is falling, so if he's not popular, he doesn't care about you. But he's not unique. He's not a first. He sadly won't be the last. He's a rich, white, straight male, as are most of his trusted friends and advisors. And for centuries, such men have built empires and ultimately destroyed them. And the people? Let's be real. In the USA today, if you don't have millions, you simply are powerless. Oh, sure, you can vote, but will your senator or congressperson listen to you after you cast your vote? And even if they will, are the people elected to Congress even capable of getting any real progress for good going? They can do evil very quickly, but good? Help the people? That takes forever if it's done at all. So in a democratic republic, we vote for and relegate our power to our representatives in government, trusting them to have our best interests permeate all they do. Well, it doesn't. The best interest of their party, their president, or their corporate overlords are all that they consider today. They pander to us for votes, and that's the last we really see of them or their interest in our lives. And none of that is new. And people have been talking about it and warning about it and writing about it since the dawn of civilized political societies. This includes religion, as organized religion was the first form of government. So why do the masses do it? Why do we always end up in a mess where their best interests last and the best interest of the upper class is prominent? A society where they struggle and all their time is spent working for and giving money back to the upper class. Now, this is why I haven't been writing so much these days, because the truth has been out there all along and not one person will really say it. Well, here it is. Because as a whole, humans are an ignorant, selfish, willful, wretched species. Not all. Out of almost 8 billion people, there's probably several billion that are wise, intelligent, compassionate. They have common sense, a willingness to learn, a willingness to listen to others and care about what they say, a different kind of the human species, like a Chihuahua is to a Great Dane. A human that evolved first, gets more right, puts self-preservation for the planet as well as its occupants first, wants a harmony with the natural world, knowing all species should be able to survive on it. A human, believe it or not, a human that prioritizes and values science and prioritizes life over profits. But let's face it, enlightened humans, if we were the majority, the world wouldn't be in the continued state of chaos that it's been ever since humans evolved. The world has always been in a battle between humans that get it and humans that don't. What is the it? Well, it's that we created everything humans use or believe or practice. Every custom, every belief, every god, every system, every society, every law, every boundary, everything. We created it. It's not divine. Therefore, it's within our power to change it if the people need it to be changed. We're able to adapt, invent, and create our way out of problems. That every human is just that, a human, not black, white, brown, gay, trans, immigrant, liberal, conservative. We're all humans, and each and every one entitled to the exact same as the other. And that we don't own the planet. We inhabit it. There's a difference. We share it. It's not our dominion. It's our home. And home to countless other species that deserve to live here as well, in their own habitats. Our needs do not outweigh the needs of the planet. How we travel, heat our homes, create our factories, how we eat is not more important than how that affects the planet and each other. That everyone is deserving of love and kindness and respect, the same things that anyone would want for themselves. You know, it. And that equality and honesty, compassion, empathy, wisdom, kindness, altruism, they are not weaknesses but strengths that should guide the entire species. Every society ends up in a similar mess, under similar circumstances, with similar personality types involved. And when they do, there are those that oppose, that fight, that dissent, that suffer, and there are those that dictate, rule, oppress, and punish. And then a world event happens and the tables turn and there's relative peace and sanity for a time. And then the cycle starts all over again. Because humans apparently never learn, and many don't appear to want to. And all along the way, people like me write about it, talk about it, comment, rant. And we have many of those tomes today from generations past. They're sitting with some reading them saying, look, see, we've been warned. It's happening again. Do something. But most people are ignoring them and their messages and their authors. I guess I've answered my own question about whether or not it's all been said before, so why bother saying more? Yes, authors have been opposing the wrong and cheering the right for centuries. Because let's face it, people like me just won't shut up, as this column proves. The problem isn't that it's all been said before. It's that every single time that it's said, far too few people listen. There you go. I said it. I stand by it.
Patreon is the way to show you care. Subscribe today if you dare. Keep the show on there. Patreon is the way. Now it's showtime.
You know, that's how you write a fucking editorial. Can I just tell you? Last night I read that and said, bitch, you still got it. I was like, bitch, you can still turn a phrase, honey. And I was very happy about it. I'll be posting that at my website, reallykarel.com. Or you can just go to karel.media, by the way. It's much easier than spelling out everything. Just go karel.media. That's it. Brings you right there. So, yeah. There are a couple billion on planet Earth like you and me. And we're not the majority. And that's why we're in this mess all over again. This mess is not new. Donald Trump is not new. He'd like to think so. None of this is new. This has all happened before, maybe in a different way, in a different time, different implementation, but it's all been done before. And we keep getting in this mess because a majority of humans are wretched. And no one wants to say that out loud. Now, that doesn't mean they're not deserving of love, kindness, respect, but it's right out of the book, The Marching Morons. If you have not read The Marching Morons by Kornbluth, please do. It's only about 80 pages. Go read it. And it's right out of The Marching Morons, where the upper class, the educated, the knowledgeable, the caring, the compassionate get overrun by morons. And the entire world almost gets destroyed. It's like the movie Idiocracy. This is not new, and people see it. Kornbluth saw it in the 50s. The makers of Idiocracy saw it. Mel Brooks has seen it. This is not new. Trump and this power grab that he's doing, not new. The question is, why don't we learn? Why don't humans as a whole learn? Why? We're looking at the planet and it's literally falling apart around us and we're doing nothing. It is Veganuary and we can't even celebrate it. There's been so many articles now about Trump, and every vegan of renown, every vegan columnist, commentator, all say the same thing. It's Trump. I just got an email from Real Vegas magazine, which I supply a column for called Vegan in Vegas. And the headline is Red Meat Comes Back to Vegas because there's some restaurant open that's celebrating red meat. RFK, eat meat, eat dairy. We're so stupid. We don't even know how to eat. We don't even know what to do to save the planet. Because we let people who only want to profit off of us send us a message that is wrong. Meat and dairy are killing the planet and killing you. If you eat more than 20% of your diet in meat and dairy, well, you're ignorant. Because the facts are out there and you just are not wanting to pay attention. 1 meal a week with meat and dairy. That's it. 1 a week for a month. That's it. That's what you get. If you don't like it, don't fucking blame me. Don't blame me that we overpopulated the planet and have to overproduce food. Don't blame me for that. It's not my fault. I'm just the veganuary messenger that says, if you eat more than 1 serving of meat and dairy a week, you're ignorant. Because the information is out there. The research is clear. It is not debatable anymore. It's not a lifestyle choice. It's not a choice. We have no choice. Either we cut back 80% on meat and dairy or the planet dies. That's just a fact. Don't blame me. Don't get mad at me. Don't comment down below negatively. I don't want to fucking hear it because it's not my fault. I wish we lived at a time where you can eat all the meat and dairy you want, even though it's murder. You are literally letting one animal live on your sofa or have a cat pole in your house and another animal you're torturing and killing. But whatever. Screw the fact that you're murderers. Let's go with the planet. We have too many people that eat meat and dairy, period. Now you have a choice. Stop killing animals to eat or start killing humans. It's up to you. Get rid of about 4 billion humans. Literally, 4 billion. Just take them out like in Star Trek, where they all have to walk into a big incinerator. Or stop eating meat and dairy, except once a week. That's really the only options. Kill 4 billion people. Or, that way there's not 4 billion more mouths to feed. Or stop eating meat and dairy except once a week. That's the only way the planet survives. Well, let me rephrase. The only way that our ability to live on the planet survives. But those are the facts. Trump is a wannabe dictator. Congress is letting him do things he shouldn't be doing. He's going to kill the United States. He is. Our economy is going to crash. You better be buying gold or silver, or there's going to be where going to the grocery store is going to cost you $500 because the dollar is going to be worth nothing. Because once they start their trade war, they're going to start trading oil in the euro. And there it goes. China and the EU would just write off our debt. They would rather write off our debt than to forgive Donald Trump. He is at Davos right now. And he's going to go there with ultimatums. And you know what they're going to say? That's what they're going to say. They're tired of him. They're sick of it. They're sick of being blackmailed. They're sick of tariffs. They're sick of it all. And they are letting it be known. They're not going to back down to Donald Trump. So he's going to throw a fit. He's already trying to overtake an island that we neither need nor want because the country that runs the island didn't give him a prize. This is the man running our country. We're fucked. And I'm telling you, if we win the midterms, he has to go in January. The minute they take office, the first thing they should do, impeach him and his entire cabinet. And that includes J.D. Vance. Here's how this should go. Democrats should win the House and Senate. They appoint a new Speaker of the House. I say they appoint Kamala Harris. They can. The Speaker of the House doesn't have to be a member of Congress. So they appoint Kamala Harris. Then they impeach Trump and Vance and his cabinet and prosecute them for their crimes. Then the Speaker of the House, Kamala Harris, becomes president. She appoints Tim Walz as vice president. And guess what? We get the last 2 years of sanity. That could happen. Trump knows it. The Republicans know it. MAGA knows it.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karelcast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Karelcast. Driving you home or driving you crazy. It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Karel Cast. Driving you home or driving you crazy.
Now it's your time.
You know, I would have loved to have interviewed Martin Luther King Jr. today on his birthday, or on his day. I really would have loved to interview him. I really would have. I think he would have liked me. I would have liked him, I'm sure. You know, today is Edgar Allan Poe's birthday. I guess the master of modern horror, the father. You know, people think Stephen King. No. Edgar Allan Poe was like the father of modern day horror. The Raven, quote, the Raven, nevermore. People are still using tomes and tropes of his stories to write horror stories to this day. He was born, I think, in 1806, I think. And I pay homage to him and to Martin Luther King Jr. and to anyone celebrating a day or a birthday today, if you are celebrating. I wish. You know, I wish that I could have met King and talked to him. I mean, I was alive. I was a kid, but I was alive. And, you know, U2 has a song about it, about Martin Luther King, Sunday Bloody Sunday. Well, it's about Northern Ireland, but they talk about King. You know, shots rang out in a Memphis sky. They took his, free at last, they took his life. They could not take his, what is it? His pride, I think. So yeah, U2 immortalized King in a song. You know, black rights seem to have taken a backseat to trans and gay and immigrants. It's amazing how cyclical civil rights are, because we're always oppressing somebody, because humans are a despicable species. My editorial is spot on, but no one will agree with it. We're a despicable species. You know, I was watching the movie Twisters over the weekend, the new one with Glenn Powell, because he's fucking hot. Oh my God. And so nice, and has a rescue dog, and he's like a perfect guy. And I was watching the movie, and it takes place in Oklahoma, whatever. And they show a rodeo like it's good, wholesome fun. And all I could do was sit there with my mouth open. I had forgotten the rodeo scene. And I sat there just, as humans, we think it's a pastime and sport to terrorize other creatures, to strap something around a horse's balls so it will buck up in the air trying to get it off and try to ride it, to chase a baby cow, an infant cow, around a pen where it's trapped so we can lasso it, make it fall to the ground in terror, and tie its legs up for sport. What kind of species of animal does that? Only humans. No other animal species does that. Only human, because we're a despicable infestation. 2/3 of the human race should not be here. And I stand by that. There's 1/3 that get it, that look at a rodeo and go, how fucking reprehensible is that? That look at eating meat and go, are you fucking kidding me in 2026? This is how you feed yourself? By torturing sentient creatures when you don't need to? By taking up resources you don't need to take up? That's destroying the very ability to live on your planet? You think that's okay? By killing each other over man-made lines in the sand, chasing people down on the streets of your country and treating them like rodeo animals. Why? Because they crossed an imaginary line without a document, a piece of paper that somehow legitimizes them as a human. And we find that acceptable. No wonder we do it to people. No wonder we're seeing ICE with the knees in the back of people and handcuffing their hands and feet. We do it to animals. Any society that does that to a cow or to a horse or to a goat or to whatever can certainly do it to a human. You wonder how we're so cruel? because we're a cruel fucking species. And no one wants to talk about that. How we need to fight human nature, not give in to it. We need to fight human nature, not make a sport out of it. Most of what humans do is reprehensible. You know, I saw
If you're
Senator...
not visiting reallykarel.com daily, you're missing out. Get the podcast videos and the blog, including recipes, at reallykarel.com. That's really KAREL.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know.
You know, I saw a coffee shop, and I walked in, and the sign said no animals and no weapons. Two things it said: no animals and no weapons except service dogs. So me and Amber walk in. And I walk up to the counter and I said, "Are you going to ask everyone to leave?" And they said, "Pardon me?" I said, "Are you going to ask everyone to leave your business?" And they said, "Why?" And I said, "Because on your window you have a sign that says no animals allowed." "Oh, well, we don't allow animals except service dogs." I said, "Are you fucking aware that humans are animals? Are you aware of that? That we are classified as animals. We are an animal. The human animal. We forget what we are. We forget our place in it all. And we forget that we need to fight our nature, not give in to it. Because the worst of us, Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, Kristi Noem, that's the worst of us. Those are people who have given in to their desires for power, for wealth, for greed, for autonomy, for authority, for racism and bigotry and hatred and everything that is the worst of humanity. They revel in it. They don't fight it. They've made careers and millions of dollars off of it. Meanwhile, you and I, we fight our nature every day. I do. Because every day I see someone I want to smack the fucking shit out of. Every day I see someone that I think I could run over them with my car and the world would be a better place. Every day I see things going on in society where I think they should just be eliminated. And I don't. Every day I think to myself, MAGA is a cancer. It should be rounded up and put into concentration camps. But I would never allow that to happen. I would fight anyone that wanted to do that. Why? Because that's the worst of us. We just give in. That's why there's obesity. We give in. We simply refuse to limit ourselves. Human nature is not good. 2/3 of our nature is not good. 1/3 of our nature is kindness, equity, compassion, empathy. These things are great, but they're not everything a human is. And we have to acknowledge that we are all things and that we all have to fight that urge inside of us to be a human. We have to say, no, I'm raised up now. I am elevated above that now. I don't need that anymore. That doesn't serve me. Greed doesn't serve me. You know, power, the quest for it doesn't serve me. We have to rise above ourselves. And those are the people we look up to. The people that do rise above themselves. Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi, Indira Gandhi. I could go down the list. Mother Teresa. Should we go on? There's many humans that have risen above themselves and done things that are extraordinary. Even though their nature, I'm sure Martin Luther King Jr. in private wanted to beat the crap out of people. When he saw his people being beaten and water hosed and dogs sicked on them, I'm sure He would have liked to pick up an automatic weapon and do all the others in. But he didn't give in to that. He didn't tell his people, fight back with guns and knives. No, he said, take the other way, the higher road. Humans often just take the lowest and not the highest. And that's a sad state of existence in 2026. All this time of development in our lives, and we still take the low road so many times. You know? Oh, we will not go gentle into the night. Damn the fading of the light. Yeah, but there's a way to fight and there's a way not to. You don't have to go gentle into the night. That doesn't mean you have to do it as an asshole. You know? Oy. What did you spend the weekend doing, by the way? I spent it unsubscribing and finishing the video. The video is finished. It will be released this Friday. The video for I Dance Because, my new single. And yes, I bought a filter called Beauty Box. And yes, I took some of the wrinkles and lines out of my face. I don't care if anyone likes it. I don't care if people say he's using a filter. I did not wear makeup in that particular video like normal people would have to be on video. The lights show all the different things on my face and my discolorations and the like. And I wanted them gone. I wanted smooth skin. I can't afford the Cher or Madonna or Streisand surgery. So I bought a filter for Premiere Pro called Beauty Box. Now I overdid it and I output that video and watched it. Everyone said it looked great. They're like, oh God, Karel, you look fabulous. I thought I looked a little too blurred like a Kardashian. So I went back in and halved it. I still got lines. I still got wrinkles. I just don't have as many. That'll be out this Friday. Thursday patrons will get it. So you all can see it on Thursday prior to release. But the rest of you will see it on Friday. And I hope you're streaming the song I Dance Because by Karel. And then I spent the weekend unsubscribing. I get so many emails that I don't want. You buy one thing at one website and suddenly you're on their list. You know, I'm just on and on and on. The Democrats are the worst. Give us $5. Give us $3. Give us $1. I am sick of all those emails. I ain't giving them shit. Fuck them. Do something first. You want my money? Do something. You want me to vote for you in the midterms? Do something before the midterms. Show me that you're going to fight this guy with everything you've got in you. Otherwise, I ain't giving you a fucking cent. Lord have mercy. Cherokee spent the weekend with her new old cat. It's a Siamese, and he's kind of blind, and she's a saint for taking him. Let's see. Soylent Greenland. Yeah. I mean, why not? You already kill animals to eat. Humans are animals. I wouldn't do it. I'm a vegan. But if you guys want to, what do I, I went grocery shopping and watched football. I was let down that the Bears lost. Well, whoever they are. I'm reading the chats at youtube.com/reallykarel. I unsubscribed to videos. I created my music video again, recreated it. And went to lunch with Steve, who has turned into an old man. God bless him. But we were sitting out on a patio in downtown Summerlin, and he was mad because of all the noise. Now, there was a lot of noise. There was an asshole kid, like a 15-year-old, riding a little mini bike that had the loudest mufflers down a promenade that he should not be on, taking glee. Who does that? Who raised that kid to where he thought he should get up in the morning, get on a loud mini bike, take it to a mall area, and ride through the pedestrians? I mean, who the fuck raised that child? See? Now, if I had been a different kind of human, I would have gotten up from my seat, smacked the shit out of him, and taken the mini bike away. Instead, I left it to security to deal with. Then another asshole had one of those cars where the stereo is so loud, the windows rattle and the trunk booms, and wherever they drive, people around them start quivering and the walls start shaking. And he kept going in a circle around the restaurant we were in. So we were boom, boom, boom. So there was a lot of noise, and Steve made it clear that he was having a bad time. I wasn't having the best time because there was a lot of noise. But we're in a city. We're in downtown Summerlin, it's called, which is a mall, by the way. Downtown Summerlin is a mall. It is. I'm not making this up. They call it downtown Summerlin, and it's a mall. It's in between Red Rock Casino and Sahara, and it's a mall. And so we were there at Finders and Makers having vegan empanadas. He had regular. I had vegan. And there was a lot of noise. So he was like complaining about that. And I was trying to have a good lunch with him and catch up. And I don't see him that often. And I was trying to change the tone, but he was content on having a bad time. So I said, look, why don't you just go to the Apple store? I'll pay the bill. Just buy. And, because he's having a bad time. You like what you like. But I thought, he's getting older. Because when we're young, when you're young, you never notice all that crap, all the noise. You don't care. You're just you're making noise yourself. Now when you're older, it's like, that's too loud. That's why I don't go to drag shows anymore. It's too fucking loud. Oh, they turn up the volume so loud and the walls vibrate and your ears hurt and Ember's unhappy and I know. That's why I don't go dancing anymore. It's too loud. They crank up those speakers and it's so loud you're out there on the dance floor and your ears are no, it's too loud. So very much like Steve, I don't go certain places because it's too loud. So I hear him. I feel his pain. I do. Take me to a drag show and I'm going to complain the whole time. I'm going to be like, it's too loud. They're not imitating anybody. They're just doing cartwheels and splits and cartwheels. Yeah, I don't like drag shows anymore. Drag queens are tired nowadays. All they do is backflips and splits and hang from the ceiling. They don't imitate anything anymore. The good ones do. The ones that sing, the Jinx Monsoons and those people. But most of them, they're just leaving snail tracks on the ground as they scoot across, looking like they need their anal sacs expressed. So to loud music. It's like, no, thank you. No, thank you. What kid was I? The one making the noise? No, I was not. I would have never in my life ridden a motorcycle or a moped or a mini bike through a crowd of people that was very loud. Never would I have done that. I would have hopped up on a stage and sung or, done something like that. I would have spoken loudly to the crowd, but I would not have ridden just a mini bike. Those little ones, they're made out of metal rod frame and they've got a lawnmower engine and they're, just hugely loud. He was annoying. And the car stereo was annoying. Steve is right. It was very loud. I didn't let it make me have a bad time, but it wasn't the best time. When 4-star dining in a lovely restaurant with climate control and lovely music playing or a jazz band or something. It was a patio in downtown Summerlin with a motorbike and a car going by and the food was good, but I'm getting more and more of these phone newsletters. Oh, I know. You have to unsubscribe now to everything. I swear to God, I have 5 email addresses. Okay, 5. And every one of them is filling up with support this, do that. Have you heard the news about this? Come to this sale. Macy's, I love you. I have your credit card. Stop sending me fucking emails. Kohl's, you know what? I love that you send me 30 and 40% off, but don't do it every 12 minutes. Democrats, stop emailing and start doing. How about you stop emailing me about what's wrong and actually fucking fix it? How about that? How about that, Democrats? Don't send me one more email until you tell me what you're going to do to fix the fucking problem, okay? But hey, Harleys, those are horrible. Horrible. I'm a biker. And any motorcyclist that puts a loud muffler on their bike like that, they're fucking assholes with little dicks. That's what they are. Whenever I hear a car or a motorcycle that's so loud, I always think, sorry about your penis. If you're a biker, the whole world doesn't need to hear your motorcycle. Okay? There's no need. They don't care. The world doesn't care that you spent $15,000 and got a pair of tailpipes. Okay? They don't care. Ugh. These people that think it's okay to just make this kind of noise with their cars. It doesn't happen in Europe. I've had lunch in Dublin 1 billion times outside and never had the noise I had at downtown Summerlin. Never. Paris, on the Champs-Élysées, or in the Marais. You're not sitting at an outside cafe and suddenly have the car going by with the stereo booming and the walls shaking. Doesn't happen. It's just Americans. Americans have become a rude, just self-centered, rude culture. Entitled, self-centered, and rude. That's Americans for you. Not all, but a lot.
Patreon is the way to show you care. Subscribe today if you dare. Keep the show on there. Patreon is the way. Now it's showtime.
Well, I did vote on awards this weekend too. It's awards season, and everyone's like, "Oh, what are you voting on?" And I'm like, "I don't know. The movies are crap." I was going to go to the movies this weekend. What do we got? Another Avatar gag. I'm not an Avatar fan. If the movies were interesting and had a point and not just a rehash of the first or a continuation, tell us a new story. But instead, it's just more of the same. Bleh. Although Zoe Saldana now has become the highest grossing actress because of those movies. She's overtaken Scarlett Johansson, both of which are that rich and have that much box office because of Marvel movies or Avatar. Then there was 28 Days Later, The Bone Temple with Ralph Fiennes. You know what? 28 Days Later was a brilliant movie. 28 Weeks Later, it was all right. 28 Years Later, it was good. It got the original people back together. The Bone Temple, stop milking this story. The first one with Cillian Murphy was brilliant. 28 Days Later. Brilliant. Chilling. Brilliant. Incredible. The second was a decent sequel. Not great, but not horrible. The third, great. Great story. Great action. Now this Bone Temple thing, you're milking it dry. And it's dry, so stop milking. You've gotten all out of that zombie that you can. So I was like, what is there to see? 28 years later, the Bone Temple? No. Avatar? Ick. It's like, is there a movie for an adult that likes movies to go see? I couldn't find one. Plus, I've got a ton of screeners, which are good. I've got many good movies. It Was Only an Accident. What is it? The Secret Agent or something agent. Then there's, there's a bunch. If I Had Legs, I Would Kick You. That's really good. So, the screeners I have are great, but at the theater, there's just hardly anything playing that I wanted to go. I did. I was like, let's go to the movies, Ember. She likes the movies. She sleeps in the chair next to me and she likes the movies. So I thought, let's go to the movies, Ember. And there was just nothing to see. I was like, ick. And they say, we got to get people back back into the theaters. Stop giving us shit movies then. Does the world need one more Avengers movie? There's one coming, by the way, Doomsday or whatever. Do we need another Avengers movie? Is it just, we're crying. Are any of you crying out for another Avengers movie? I'd like to see some other movies made. Some sequels to movies in the 80s that were fabulous. That would be wonderful. Take us and make it a sequel to people grown up or whatever. But, oh no, they can't have any fun ideas like that. I remember great movies from the 80s and 90s that you wanted to go to the theater to see them. Star Wars. I guess there's a new Star Wars coming. I'm kind of interested in it. I think it's coming to TV, though. And Star Trek. There's a new Star Trek coming. I'm interested in that. It's a TV series, but I'm interested. Star Trek Academy or Starfleet Academy or something it's called. Holly Hunt, I think. Is it Holly Hunter? No, I forget who's in it, but I'm interested to see it. But movies? And all this K-pop this and K-pop that and anime this and anime that. Just make a fucking movie with good actors and good dialogue and an interesting plot, for the love of God. You want us back in the seats? Give us a reason to go and sit down. Yes, outdoor theaters with movies like Jaws. That's fun. Rooftop theaters. Let us have cocktail. Well, here in Vegas, you can drink while you watch a movie, by the way. Lots of theaters here in Vegas. Palace Station, Cinnabar, favorite theater. That's Nicolas Cage's favorite theater. He goes there all. I've seen Nicolas Cage at the movies at Cinnabar, at Palace Station. Wonderful theater. Incredible. Fabulous seats. A waiter or waitress that comes to your seat and brings you food or cocktails. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful theater. Cinnabar at Palace Station. If you have come to Vegas and you want to see a movie, go there to see it. It's fabulous. Don't spend $100 to go see The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. Don't do it. They cut 42 minutes out of the movie. And yes, it's a big experience, and they drop apples and they blow poppies and big fucking deal. The movie itself, they've cut a majority of the good stuff out. So don't. They should show The Wiz at the Sphere in its entirety. A musical. He's on down the road, child. Oh, yeah. Now, I'd go to that. Michael and Diana. Oh, yeah. But no. They want you to pay $100. It is $100 to go see The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. I am making that up. Go check the prices. Matinees you can get in for $50, $75. But it's $100 to go see The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. And people are lining up and just giving them their money. They won't pay $20 fucking dollars. They get all mad that movies are too expensive. They're $20. And then they'll pay $100 to go see a 100-year-old movie. Well, not 100, but you know my point. What else? Oh, yeah, everyone's all, watch the Ben Affleck movie with Matt Damon on Netflix called The Rip. I said, why? Did they finally fuck? They're like, no. And I'm like, then why watch it? It's like, oh, it's a cute cop movie. Yeah, I know. I don't like Ben Affleck. He's a good actor. He is. But he's a chain smoker, and he seems to have a problem with women. The longest relationship in his life is Ben Affleck. Or Matt Damon, I mean. So, yeah, that's an issue. If the longest successful relationship in your life is with a man, then maybe you're gay. I don't know. Karel, two men can be friends. You're right, they can be. Ben and Matt can be friends. Good for them. Glad they found each other. Glad they have each other. They're a template for all men out there to keep and hold dear your lifelong friends. Who am I to say that that's gay? Sorry about that. Gay. No, they've got wives. Well, one of them has a wife. The others had wives. Plural. All right. Well, we'll see how the day plays out. See if Europe hits us with a bazooka. What's going to happen? We'll talk about it tomorrow. I am Karel. Be who you want to be. So I'm going to hurt you, buddy. Like and subscribe. And don't forget to follow Karel Official on Instagram. I need 1,000 followers so I can go live. Karel Official on Instagram. Karel Official. Follow. Subscribe to the YouTube.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Karel Cast. Driving you home or driving you crazy. It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel